All right, in this question, we're being asked to find the standard deviation of 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in order to solve this, you need to know what the definition of the standard deviation is. The definition of standard deviation is this particular formula. Let's call it SD is equal to the square root of this large quantity, the sum as I starts from 1 and goes all the way up to n of x sub I minus m, where m is the mean, divided by n, where n is the total number of values you've been given. Okay, so all of these values are actually very easy to understand, but if you would like to get a more detailed look as to how to calculate this standard deviation and what each individual value means, please consider taking one of our courses on the JAMB app. For now, I'm just going to go through and solve it, and hopefully you should be able to figure all these things out. So when x sub I refers to the individual values you're given. So for example, x sub 1 is 5, x sub 2 is 4, and so on and so forth. And m is the average or the mean. So first thing we want to do is let's calculate the mean. The mean is the sum of all the values. That's 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 divided by n. We know that n is 5 because we're given 5 digits. Therefore, the mean is 15 over 5, which is equal to 3. So now we know what the mean is. We can go ahead and plug in all these values into our formula. This one is going to require a little bit of space. So what we have to do is for each value, we want to subtract it from the mean and then square it. So for example, we're going to take 5 minus the mean and square it. Whatever that value is, square it. We're going to add it to 4 minus the mean and square that. We're going to add that to 3 minus the mean and square it, plus 2 minus the mean and square it, plus 1 minus the mean and square it. We're going to take this whole expression, we're going to divide it by n, which n is 5, and we're going to take the square root of the result. So that is the formula for standard deviation applied to the values we've been given. So let's go ahead and solve it. When we solve this, we get the square root of 2 squared plus 1 squared plus 0 squared plus minus 1 squared plus minus 2 squared, all over 5. When we add everything up, we get the square root of 10 over 5, which is equal to the square root of 2. And that's our answer.